behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to the behind the scenes of bar prep. I'm recording right now because I'm like, whatever. We are like 5 days away. I'll clarify when I look at my phone. Right now, I am reviewing my flashcards for Florida multiple choice. And guys, let me tell you that this is the biggest mistake and error that I've learned from the bar. And this is not the fault of anyone. This is the structure of the program. They wait for you to get to Florida multiple choice at the end to start testing you on questions. And in Barbary, that's like when you're at 80% of your program. By the time you're at 80% of your program, you are way too close to test day. I firmly believe now that I've went through this bar prep process that people should be learning Florida multiple choice from day one and going subject by subject while they have time to learn and understand the rules and internalize it. Imagine you go through all of bar prep, you understand MBE, you understand how to write an essay now to get by, but you have this last part that you have in the end to get everything together that has the most subjects. That just doesn't make sense. And it's not anyone's fault, it's because of the program. Again, it saves it for the end, but since we know that, we should be putting things in the beginning. If you know students really took wills and trust and business entities, they should be tested on those subjects because I took business entities, but that does not mean I'll be able to register it on questions. And this is the biggest hole I've seen in bar prep that was not practical. Like essays, you will get it together in the end. You will learn how to write. MBE, you will get it together because you get to practice MBE and essays from day one. Florida multiple choice, you practice at the end, and it's too many subjects. It's actually more subjects than MBE. You have wills, you have trust, you have Florida Civ, you have Florida Crim, you have Florida Evidence, you have corporations, you have LLCs, you have LLP, you have LP, you have general partnerships, you have secure transactions, commercial paper. And you're telling us we have to learn this at the end of the program. There should be a beginning program thing. And the worst part about Florida multiple choice is that it's specific. There's a lot of dates here, 10 days, 30 days, 20 days, everything is dates. So you're telling me this is the most dense material basically, and people are supposed to learn this at the end? But I get it, they don't know where to put Florida. I think what you should do, especially students who haven't taken Florida courses yet, there's a lot of students who have. And even if students haven't, they should be doing those questions because what I'm doing right now is not even really learning the material. I'm simply learning the rules off the questions I've done. So people should be doing Florida multiple choice from day one, even if they never took a class, so that they can learn some of the rules. And it could be so simple. It could be like, go do 10 questions of wills, write down those rules and recall it every day. And people could build to knowing a big fact pattern, a big question set of rules versus at the end. And they're literally going through all this stuff, freaking out. Most people I know, they decided just to go on bar exam masters and do as many questions as they can, which I am doing bar exam masters right now too. But I realized it's going to be different fact patterns. You might recognize those questions because you really just remember the fact pattern. So I had to write down the rules. Thank God prior Naya did this already. And I was just going through questions and writing down the wrong and right answers on flashcards. So right now I just go through everything I wrote down on flashcards. I drill it in my head. And then today I'm going to go take a question set on these sections. And then I'm going to learn another section while I'm still doing Florida essays and while I'm still doing MBE. Like, this is not how I wanted to end bar prep.
Oh, hell no!
But I know that at least I can get by with MBE. This honestly is the scariest part. Another bar taker told me about this and she told me to start Florida multiple choice early, but I didn't know what she meant. I thought she meant just start 1 week earlier or 2 weeks earlier than when the school tells you to or your program. Nah, what she should have really told me was start from the beginning. Start early is very different than start from the beginning. So this is my biggest warning to you guys. And I know it might seem like a lot of work you have to do up front, but would you rather be doing work up front or be in the position as every other bar student and be learning Florida multiple choice at the end when it's a portion of your grade? I'll wait. Let's review. First, mediation arbitration, 60 days. A party may instruct the opponent not to answer a question at that position for limitation on evidence, a privilege, a motion to terminate, but not for self-incrimination. Third party served 20 days after an answer. The worst part about this discovery is that you realize Florida multiple choice is not even that hard. It's just about knowing the dates and the major things of that topic. So if you really had a lot of time to do this, you could have gotten an 80, a strong score of Florida multiple choice, but it's just a lot to learn and it has to be spread out. So if you sucked at essays but you started Florida multiple choice day one, even when you didn't know anything, bro, you would be a pro in the end. It's the same thing with MBE. The more you like learn the laws, bro, the more nothing can stop you, and you could have the strongest score, and that could have saved somebody who was struggling on essays. But learning lesson, guys, like one thing I learned about my bar prep is that I have the right procedure. Just like every other bar person, you just probably learned too late because you had no one showing you or going through the process, or even people who took the bar and then didn't tell you that the mistakes of the bar or what they struggled with or what was their bad experience about it. Yeah, because I told my friend after the Florida multiple choice, everyone was freaking out. She was like, oh yeah, when all my friends who even passed the bar took that Florida multiple choice in the end for our stimulated exam, they were all freaking out too. I'm like, so y'all didn't want to send a warning to others to start early? To start from the beginning? Like, it wasn't on your heart? Like, people just let people make the same mistakes in bar prep that they know they didn't like. I don't know if this is a hazing process, but it's just so unfair because you could be saving people from bad experiences or retaking this heavy exam. But one thing I learned is that I love my process of bar prep. I'm actually very calm in my process now. The issue is that I was going to say, like, every main bar taker who like took this seriously is they figured out what should have been started earlier, what should have been happening from the beginning, and what they should be doing from the jump at the end. But it's okay, because I'm going to keep all my stuff. I'm more confident than most with MBE, but I'm going to keep all my stuff just in case because I know that I learned from flashcards. I know that me doing this did not take away from my time. It actually helped me. It's just how fast can a person learn all these subjects in a couple of days for real? Which really sucks because my whole purpose of starting What's the Issue and all that early was to have an advantage over bar prep. But I realized that's why I'm so against like just being so video heavy, because watching all these videos, receiving all this knowledge is very different than testing out these theories. Like if they told you to watch these videos, but you were doing practice Florida multiple choice every day and you were learning if your MBE outline and active recalling, I would be okay with it. But when you're waiting for the end for Florida multiple choice and you think the videos are more important, but that's because of the structure of Barbary in the program, then that's an issue. Like I remember day one of my bar prep, I was like, oh, so is there a Florida multiple choice question bank? And they were like, no. And I was like, well, how am I going to test all these subjects that I just learned? And like I said, like watching What's the Issue before and going through the program, it has given me a stronger understanding of these subjects, but that is not going to save me on knowing how the subjects are tested, which is why I'm more of a practice it out person versus a watch a video person. Like, yeah, watch videos, but the main priority should be practice. But this was something that happens at the end of bar prep, and it just sucks. Like feeling this right now is terrible, especially when you want to feel very calm before you're about to take your exam. Not like you have to learn more before. Like all my friends are learning Florida multiple choice right now, and they all went through their program. They watched their videos. We technically did it correctly. So if you're watching this right now, day one of your bar prep, start a subject, do questions in that subject, learn those laws, recall your MBE outline, write an essay a day, and it will help you. Because this is a thing, not everybody can learn business entities, wills, trust, UCC, secure transactions, Florida evidence, Florida crim, Florida civ at the end. You have to have a good memory for that. You have to be able to already not be behind on essays and MBE and really go hard on this. Now the good thing is MBE might save me. Being so for MBE might save me. And even me knowing a lot of rules for Florida essays. But it's like time fighting you with essays. So I really feel like this was the biggest hidden secret that you could have done for the buffer of the exam to help you pass Florida and overall the MBE. But it's just way too at the end of the program. And it makes me sad because this is what every other bar taker kind of warned me about a little bit. Like start early from Florida multiple choice. They told me that they were in their hotel learning Florida multiple choice at the end. But luckily, those people passed. So it's doable, but they have strong essay scores. But if essays isn't your thing, even if you're decent at MBE, imagine you went the whole bar prep and then the end 2-3 weeks, you find out you got to learn all these subjects, but you're still watching videos and you just start practicing at the end and you realize how much is writing on this. And even if you don't want to listen to me and do like Florida multiple choice that early, even though like guys, I'm telling you, it does not feel good right now. When you get to your Florida videos, when you watch Wills, go on Bar Exam Masters and do Wills questions. When you watch UCC, go on Bar Exam Masters and do UCC questions. Because something that will happen is that once you get through all your videos, it's going to be like straight Florida multiple choice after that. And your coaches are going to want you to do the questions from your program. But then you'll hear conflicting things from students who pass and be like, bro, like we were in the same boat as you. Like we had 1 week and we went on Bar Exam Masters and we passed. So most people go to Bar Exam Masters because that's been the way for every crash out student who passed still. But if people have been doing bar exam masters from the beginning and incorporated it into their program as practice, or they did it while they were going through the videos, people will be more inclined to do their videos questions because they feel like they're getting more knowledge. But when you have to choose at the end between what program to use, a lot of people go with bar exam masters because everybody has been in this position at the end and went with bar exam masters and passed. But I honestly feel like both would be beneficial if you were using bar exam masters from day one or while you were watching your videos, which I think watching the videos is still too late in the program. Like 50% of your program's MBE. The next like 30% is Florida. By the time you get through Florida, you're really closer to test day. And I was okay with that because I was like, oh, I watched what's the issue videos. But I got in the same boat as everyone else by not doing practice questions. So we all are in the same place, essentially. So essentially, I say that me watching What's the Issue and doing all this stuff was not conducive if I'm in the same place, because the information, again, is not going to save me on these questions. It might have given me a stronger understanding. I still would have done What's the Issue and watched those videos. I would have just been practicing the Florida Bar Exam Masters from the beginning, and then I would have watched the videos in my program, and I would have done those questions in my program. But this is the misstep, because you do essays from day one. So you're literally like, whether you're good or bad, you're getting used to it. And then you do MBE all the time. So whether you're good or bad, you get used to it. Florida multiple choice, you don't have any time to get used to it until like 2 weeks out from the bar. Now, to be fair, my bar coach, she did warn us as well to start Florida multiple choice. And I did not start when she told me to. I probably waited like a week later. Like I started reading the outlines a little bit, but I wasn't really like doing it as much. But I still think that this should be something from the beginning, because I don't want to learn all these subjects like this at the end. And the good thing about it for me is I have decent memory, so I can drill this in my head once I have a flashcard. But I don't want to go through the process this way. I don't. I really don't. I really do not, actually. And I feel like for multiple choice from the beginning, it's actually the most controlled thing that you can learn from bar prep, because MBE, you're going to have to learn all the tricks and the fact patterns. There's no tricks in your Florida multiple choice. It's just a matter of, do you know it or not? And imagine if you gave yourself like 10 weeks to know it all. You're going to know those subjects, and you would have been fine on Florida multiple choice. You would have figured out MBE, and even if you were average on essays, or if you grew strong in your essays, look at that. All 3 parts you hit. So yeah. But the good thing is like, truth be told, even if I have to retake this process, I'm confident now. Like, I know what I need to do. I know what needs to happen. And the main issue was just approach and learning some of the holes in the end again. But I had a great experience studying for the bar. If I had to do it again, like I said, I probably would be calm. I would probably be so calm because I wouldn't be figuring out like, how do I execute? I know how to execute now. It's just a matter of starting from day one. Time is the one thing you don't have in the bar. So when you don't start things early, bro, time is your weapon. It's not learning. It's not like, oh, I can understand trust later. It's like, no, you should have started learning trust day one, unfortunately. But we're gonna finish up these flashcards. Normally I start with essay, analysis, review, and then I go to flashcards, but because I'm reviewing and then having to learn more Florida multiple choice today, I'm just getting my review out the way. Then I'm gonna go to essays, and then after essays, I'm gonna go to learning more subjects for Florida multiple choice, and then after Florida multiple choice, we're gonna do MBE. That's how this day is about to go. And then, yeah. We're on Bar Exam Masters, and I'm doing questions separately of everything that I have just went over. And so far I've gotten every question right, but I'm only on question 6. But I'm realizing the flashcard method is working. Guys, it's truly crazy because I just did like 67 questions of Civ and I was getting it. So that lets me know like the flashcard method is really working. I just wish I had more time to do this, but like I'm glad that under crunch time I'm getting it together. I'm about to do the same thing for Crim and then wills, because that's what I've already went over yesterday. I'm going to learn business entities and evidence today. I made sure to learn the heaviest, most likely tested subjects, and I just drilled for hours the rules. And my actual percentage just went up on Bar Exam Masters for my overall score based on just me doing 67 questions of Civ. And I really knew the rules. So that lets me know the rules are sticking. I even wrote down more flashcards based on what I just went through. And I'm about to do that for Crim and wills, since that's most likely to be tested, and then business entities and evidence today. And I feel like that'll make me be safe. So this is possible that at the end you can do this, but you're really just putting yourself in crunch time. And something I really wanted to focus on at the end was getting better at my essays and seeing what's supposed to be more included. But I've decided to balance it out, and I'm like, okay, at least if I get a decent score in essays, I get a decent score in Florida multiple choice, and I do good in MBE. Like, that's what I have to do now. But I would have been able to be the strongest version of myself if I was able to do everything in the beginning. But just testing myself right now and seeing all the rules click is proof that what I did yesterday worked. So I'm going to keep going. See you guys soon, because I'll see you guys probably when I'm going to essay analysis. Hello everybody, so we are about to be on our last essay review. I made sure to come on at the last one because I really be brain dead during this process, and even right now I'm wondering how I'm recording, because I don't record when I'm very in strategic bar prep mode or just in general, but I'm deciding to do it so I can reflect back later and just help whoever. So right now I'm doing essay analysis, and what I mean by that is in your program you'll be able at the end, or in general, actually the whole time, you'll be able to filter through your program. So I go filter through my program and the entire course, and I press essays, and then I went subject by subject on what's essay tested, and I went through each essay model question, answer, and the rubric to see where the points were, to see how I'm supposed to be analyzing the law, and to see everything, and to see what facts trigger what rules, and to see what facts triggers the analysis. At first I used to be like, oh, you can really argue any side, because of course they just want to make sure you know how to argue. But something I really realized is this is not a liberal interpretation, bro. These essays low-key have an answer in your analysis, and that's how they know if you really know the rules based on your analysis and the conclusion, which is why they make that the most points. So if there's something on defamation and you say it was not defamation, but the answer is defamation, now you probably lost points for saying that it was an opinion when it was a false statement of facts, because you have to break down everything in the rule, and your rule is basically your conclusion overall. So you're going to lose points if you're not getting the right arguments based on the right analysis. So I, in the beginning, was mainly worried about rule essay statements and knowing that. And to be honest, you really can't go anywhere until you know your rule essay statements, which is why I'm like, go ahead and start that before bar prep. Just get familiar with the rules, because when you're so focused on learning the rules, you're not really focusing on the analysis, because you're more like, oh, the rules are more important. If I don't know the rules, I can't write anything down on paper, which is true. Then you'll get to your second stage where you'll realize oh, you can know the rules and still get a lot wrong if you don't have the analysis. But the rules is the first step. You can't go anywhere without the rules. So like I said, I got rules from What's the Issue, my Florida Barbary book, and my Bar Exam Masters website has a lot of Florida rules. And yeah, so you got to start to kind of know those rules, because you won't understand the analysis. I used to read the model answers. I'm like, Naya, why didn't you understand the model answers back then? But it's because I didn't know the rules. So I would read the model answer and I would literally be like, okay, that makes sense. And I would move on. But now that I know the rules, for example, for a periodic tenancy, you must have 15 days notice if it's month to month, 7 days if it's week to week, and so on. Say, for example, it's supposed to be a 5-year lease, but it was made orally. Okay, if it's 5 years, that was supposed to be under the statute of frauds. You have to say that, but it's not, since it's oral. So then you say that it's an at-will lease, since it's oral and can be terminated at any point by both people. But then it turns into a periodic tenancy because of the periodic payments of paying monthly. So you see how we just went from supposed to be in writing to at will to it's a periodic tenancy? That is the analysis. And you could have known what a periodic tenancy was. You could have known what at will was. You could have known that something over 5 years has to be in writing. But if you don't know how it transitioned into all, that is your analysis. So imagine you see a fact pattern and you just see that fact pattern right there, and you're like, oh, this is an at-will tenancy because it is oral and not enforceable by the statute of frauds. Wrong answer, because it's periodic. And I think they do that on purpose to make sure you really understand the law. So the essays is really not about the rules. The rules is just you putting it down. It's about the analysis and understanding. And that's why I'm like, bro, low-key, all these essays have a right and wrong answer. It's either the criminal procedure violated the Constitution or it didn't. It's either that a contract was formed or it was not. It's either that a person is liable for strict products liability or no. So outside of just knowing the rule, you have to learn the analysis. What I can say is once you learn the rule, the analysis becomes easier because you're not thinking what's the rule, you're just looking at how to apply. So yeah, if somebody knew the rules before this process, then you would be great when it comes to analysis in the end. I will say that I'm picking up on analysis by just knowing the rules more. So rules is very important to learn first, because you're not going to get to the analysis if you don't know the rules. It's just how fast can you learn all those rules. Do you need to start before bar prep really starts, or do you need to start during bar prep and just designate the first month to knowing the rules, the second month to getting your analysis down? Be strategic. I'm not here to tell you guys what to do. I'm here to show you guys the holes and how to be better in performance. Yeah, so right now, the last days, I made sure to thoroughly go through contracts towards property, con law, and Florida con law for analysis. Tomorrow, I'm just going to read family law and not write it out because I've been writing it out. tomorrow I'm just going to read family law and crim law, crim pro, and get the analysis in my head because I feel like that's more intuitive for me, even though those rules are a little more specific for crim. But I just feel like I can get the rules down. And then after that, I'm going to just start recalling 4 subjects a day and keep it all fresh in my mind until bar day. Because I know MBE like the back of my head, so I don't really feel like I need to recall MBE. I need to recall Florida. Florida multiple choice, I see that by just keep doing it, you'll get familiar with the patterns, which is why it really sucks that I started so late at the end, because I really feel like if you're good at MBE, you'll be good at Florida multiple choice, but the difference is you got to start from day one or as early as possible, because if you're average on your essays, but you're getting 80 on Florida multiple choice and you get average on your essay, you have passed Florida. You have that security. Right now, I'm trying to get myself security by at least making sure I'm still going through all the analysis deeply, recalling the rules to be average, and then at least trying to get somewhere with this Florida multiple choice and know more rules in a short amount of time. Probably can't beat somebody who's been doing the rules from day one and peeped what needed to happen, but at least I know that I'm trying to catch on. And yeah, so I'm gonna go in there. You guys are gonna see me do my last essay review, and then after that I'm gonna take a break. I'm probably gonna do like 25 questions each of business entities topic and then Florida evidence to have more flashcards and then drill it all in after. And then the end of my day is always MBE since that's not a main focus. So yeah. One thing I do also want to add is that if you're using Barbary, one thing I thought while doing those videos is that it would randomly begin to talk about like Florida for like towards and distinctions and stuff, but it will never talk about the distinctions in like your MBE video. It's really in your book, so you're not learning Florida distinctions through your videos. It's really on you. So with that being said, make sure you really know those distinctions, because I think that's what Themis does. It does Florida and MBE at the same time, which at first I was like, oh, I don't like that. Like learning wise, I didn't like that. But now looking back, strategically, that might be smart for someone who needs to learn the Florida and they don't know that at all. But I honestly feel like learning it separately was okay. But just know that as you're going through your program, it's not going to be a magical video where they start telling you Florida torts distinctions for your essay or anything like that. That'll come from your Barbary book. But that's why I'm saying learn those laws beforehand, because nothing's going to drill it but you. You'll just go from them giving you rules in the beginning when you get essays to like being on your own and needing to know things. So remember that.
The next day.
Y'all, I really got like a lot of subjects for Florida, and these are a lot of flashcards, but Florida multiple choice is really not that hard. Like I said, the issue with Florida multiple choice is more like how long did it take for you to learn those specific dates and rules. But if you knew them and you did it in advance, I'm telling y'all, cake. Y'all could get that. It's only 700 questions in Bar Exam Masters. If you start from day one and people can catch on to this in the last 2-3 weeks, imagine what you could do from day one. And you could secure yourself if you are shaky on essays. The reason why everyone thinks Florida multiple choice is hard is not because of the material, it's because of the time. I'm about to make up myself a scrambled egg sandwich. And we have, what's your name?
Kaden.
Say Chef Kaden.
Chef Kaden.
Teach your kids how to cook. Okay, you guys, I can't explain too much without here right now because I'm in crunch time. Just know that these are my like official legalese rule statements, but these are my like what's the issue, know it for a third grader rule statements. And this is actually what I'm choosing to review 3 days before the exam, just because to me, this is crunch time. There's no more time to learn convoluted statements. This is time for me to just go back to the basics, know simple things. And I was really enjoying this review. Like I went through Professor Grossman, what's the issue outline, and I even seen little things that I forgot. Somebody asked me what did my outlines look like, so this is what I did. I wrote out literally the structure of how he talked about it. Like when he said negligence, I wrote down the essay format. I did negligence, duty, breach, causation, damages, a paragraph, intervening, superseding, paragraph 3, defenses, optional, paragraph 4, if that exists, negligence per se. And so how I went through it is I wrote like a heading for like negligence essay, duty, what falls under duty, breach, causation. I'm telling myself there must be 2 types. Actual cause, proximate cause, damages. I'm giving myself a little essay sentence. Minimally, you're entitled to compensatory damages. Compensatory meaning it will make you whole and take you back to where you were before. Pain and suffering. Next paragraph, intervening and superseding. Just knowing the rules and then a way I could say it in a paragraph. That's simple. So I'm just gonna review three topics a day right now. But yeah, these are like 3 a day. 3 days out, learn 3 a day, drill in the little rules. That way you just have it in your head. And I'll probably start listening to my voice messages again right now in my free time of these rule statements. Okay, I just went over torts, con law, and family law today. And I might try to do criminal procedure later, but I need to move on to MBE. And then tomorrow I'm going to do property contracts and Florida con law. And then the third day out, which will be the day before the exam, I'm going to go over criminal law, PR. Yeah. It is officially 7:51 and I just ended my day by doing MBE 50 questions. I just did 50 questions and got an 80. I did really bad at Civ Pro and honestly, I didn't do the greatest in criminal law either. And everything else I got 100 low-key, except for evidence. Me and civil procedure are enemies, and sometimes me and civil procedure will be like all correct and then other days it's like this. But this is proof that even if you did bad in a subject, your overall grade can save you if you are strong. But that was me after 50 questions. Here's my typical exam reports. This was 100 questions. I got a 79% on a real MBE exam. On real MBE exam, I got 75%. Another real MBE exam, I got a 67. Mixed sets, I'd be getting 80 sometimes. So I low-key have a decent range when it comes to MBE, mixed sets, and even doing like specific questions. But I am exhausted, so I'm going to go to bed because tomorrow I have to wake up, keep drilling in my what's the issue outlines, review weak areas, do Florida multiple choice, do more MBE, and I need to look at the analysis for family and crim. I might wake up in the middle of the night to do that. I'm just going to put pieces together of the ending of my journey so you guys can see what I do all the time. You never will have the same study day, I will say, in bar prep. Like, you might do 80% the same and then do something different based on what you struggled with the day before. So every day is like a little unique, but you just go with it and tighten up on things you feel like you need because that means that's something you feel like you need. So yeah, the bar exam is officially in 2 days after I go to sleep and wake up tomorrow. By the way, guys, I have been literally drinking ginger shots for like the past 5 days until the bar because I need to be healthy. People get sick easily and I'm trying to have my body at its strongest. Okay. Hello everybody, this is me popping up on camera. We are 2 days before the bar right now. Tomorrow's the last day before I take this exam. And I learned all these essays right here and I just have those left. I'm glad I started feeling better about Florida multiple choice because now like I really drilled in my essays because half the battle is knowing your rule statements and the other half is knowing the analysis. So in the beginning I kind of learned my rule statements. When I got decent, I realized I didn't do good analysis, then I went back to fix my analysis. Now I can go back and really drill my rule statements again. One thing I want to say is that what's the issue is really saving my life right now. Like I do have rule statements from other places and I did learn a lot of rule statements from just my program and like going on bar exam masters and just drilling in as much Florida distinctions as I could. But in the end, when I'm 1 day, 1 week, 4 days out from my exam, what's the issue has been the best thing for me to study. It's light on my brain. It doesn't feel like too much. The definitions are simple and it takes me through an analysis. I almost feel like my what's the issue outline has every majorly tested subject. So when you're reviewing these, you know that you're getting everything that's heavily tested and he's making sure that you can at least put something on paper. I realize that yes, Professor Grossman, he might not have the most legalese definitions, but that's because he wants you to learn to understand. And this is the thing about it. He still gives you buzzwords. So if you wrote down his definitions, he gives you so much buzzwords and exceptions to where you can get by if you rock out on your analysis. So I have learned complex rule statements just by going through MBE and being in this process, but if I blank, my number one thing I think about is my what's the issue statement because he makes you make sure that you understand the concept. This is such a good review in the end once your brain is already like tired of studying. It's just so simple. Like, is there probably a deeper medical profession thing somewhere? Yeah. But when you have to learn all those 7, 8, 9 essay topics and all these 5 major subtopics, he will get you through there if you know that you are struggling to remember. So like I said, in the end, I'm just doing my what's the issue outlines. And if I think of a more complex definition while I'm in the bar exam, cool. Because I'm not going to lie, sometimes I do write based on my like bar journey and I'll write out these complex definitions I didn't even know. And it was there. But now just going back to what's the issue definitions, I'm like, yes, these are more simple, but it makes me feel a lot of comfort knowing that at least I went through landlord tenant, I went through rights to possession and land, I went through real estate contract and the deed. And well, at least if I get those essays, I know what to write down. Pick up the what's the issue outlines at the end for real. Right now I'm about to do Florida multiple choice soon and then MBE. It's 4:21. I actually need to go to the grocery store. My mom's gonna go to the grocery store and pick out some food because tomorrow I drive up to Tampa. And yeah, I'm gonna stay at the embassy. I've already decided that on my 1 hour break, I'm going back to my hotel. I don't wanna be around 1,000 people in a convention room. I'm going back to my hotel. Also, like I said, Florida multiple choice really isn't that bad once you start to see the patterns. Like, it's been a couple of days, but I've already caught on pretty good to like overall. I could know more minute things, but in the matter of crunch time and just being passing, I feel like I do know enough now. I realized like my professor, my bar coach, Professor Randall, shout out to my bar coach, she did tell me like before I started, like I think I said this already, but like 2 weeks before that or 1 week before that, she was like, start your Florida multiple choice questions, like don't abandon them, do Florida. But one thing bar coaches do is they'll tell you something and then students will enact it like 1 week later, just being real. So yeah, food for thought. But the thing is, I'm honest with her. And that was good advice because honestly, they probably realized that at the end, people are struggling for Florida multiple choice. But what I realized is Florida multiple choice really does need to be started like more in the beginning, day one. Because I'm telling you guys, if you do my method and you like learn your rule statements and then just deeply look at your model answers for analysis, your essays will be down packed. It's gonna be a matter of practicing and making sure you're not missing facts and making simple mistakes. Okay, boom. After that, I already gave you the MBE strategy, okay? That MBE strategy is gold. You learn your outlines, you recall it, great. And then you do one subject a day in the beginning, and then you go test yourself on those subjects, and then you soon you'll realize what you're weak in those areas, and you add your subtopics. And then when you get good, you do 100 questions at least once a week, and you make sure you do mixed sets and you do it in exam. That's essays, that's MBE, Florida multiple choice. Honestly, guys, like I said, doable, but will you have the best score so close to the exam? No. And that's so preventable. And I think they thought the solution was like 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, but the solution is from day one, bro, because I'm sorry, a lot of people don't learn very fast. Like, I think about people outside myself. I'm like, what if somebody never took wills and has to learn wills for multiple choice, business entities for multiple choice, Florida evidence for multiple choice, Florida Civ, Florida Crim. These aren't even subjects that are tested in our law school. Florida Civ, Florida Crim, we don't have that. Florida evidence, we don't have that. And I understand because they're like, well, how are people going to make those questions if they haven't gone to that part of their program? Because like I keep saying, this exam is more about practice and exposure. So if you do 5 questions and you're assigned a different set a week and you just keep exposing yourself, eventually you're going to see what they want. What I did, like I said, you go through those questions and then you drill in that Marsha LLC outline, link in description. Or I did the flashcard method. The flashcard method helped better for me. But as you can see in general, I'm just a flashcard girl. I wrote out wills, I wrote out civ, I wrote out everything. And that just helps me drill it in. So me, I just do questions. I drilled it in. And then I went back to do questions. And then I realized like my scores just be increasing after that. So I had to do flashcards in the end because I'm like, bro, I can't learn all this Florida in just a couple of days. So I had to do my method of drilling because that's how I did MBE. In 1 week, I switched my scores. So in a couple of days, I did my flashcard method and boom, scores is better. At least I know I can know something on that exam now. Okay, everybody, right now I'm choosing to be strategic. I feel like I haven't done like individual topics in MBA in so long because I get overall a good score. But today I'm going to do like 20 questions of evidence, 20 questions of Civ Pro because I do good at evidence sometimes, but I just want to make sure that it's really in my head because it has a lot of little rules as well as Civ Pro. And then I'm probably going to do like a mix set. Right now, this is my overall MBE score versus the whole adaptive bar. Chestnut checkers. Look how many questions I did. And honestly, that's why I'm doing worse right now because I realize these adaptive bar questions are so technical. Normally, you run into them like 20, 30 on the exam, but right now, all my questions are getting technical because I'm getting so deep in my questions. But I just want to make sure I'm knowing enough before the test. If you ever use adaptive bar, make sure you go on NCPE practice exams and make sure before the exam you complete all 4 of these because this is similar and these are actual MBE exams. I did 1, 2. I did this one the other day and I think I'm gonna do this one right now just before the exam to make sure that I'm still sharp. Okay, you guys, I just did MBE and I'm so drained. I don't know why I did this to myself because I literally can't think. Like that was rough. Like it's never felt that rough. But I do know MBE real exams are a little bit harder, but like I'm honestly just mentally think I'm gone. So I did 100 questions in 1 hour and 49 minutes. You're supposed to take 3 hours and I'll be finishing because I practice a lot. Ooh, a 67. This is not my best work. But like I also keep telling you guys, out of these 2 exams, one is significantly harder. This was the first exam to that one, and then I got a 79. The second one, I got a 67. And the same thing happened to me when I did the other MBE exam. I got a 67 on one of them, and then I got a 75 on the other. So one is harder and one is easier, and Professor Grossman will tell you that. That one felt very technical, and maybe like if I have some time tomorrow, I'll review it.
The next day.
Okay, you guys, it is 7:59 in the morning, and it is the day before the bar, and this is all my stuff. Water bottles, you have to cut off the labels, my computer, my wrong multiple choice I used to get wrong, some Barbie books just in case. I brought my boards with me, and food. My mom cooked food for me so I could have, and then she got me snacks that I wanted. My hotel has a microwave and a fridge, so all this food is gonna go away. I brought all my stuff, probably not gonna really review anything, but just to have as a crutch, an emotional crutch. And yeah, we're about to do this 3 hours and like 50-minute drive. It was 3 hours and 30 if I would have left at like 4 a.m. but I'm leaving at 8 because I have to be there at 1 to sign in my last name A through C. But I'm just going there so I could be calm on the road, have a calm mind the day before. I don't want to be rushing. Y'all, we are in Tampa. It is 11:55. I'm 2 minutes away from both the convention center and my hotel because I'm staying at the Embassy Hotel, which I don't mind telling y'all because you will never catch me here in Tampa again. Period. But yeah, this whole time I've really been out here recalling the law. Like, I'm on my last subject right now, common law, and I just have the ending to go through all speech things, and I'm like, yeah, all right. Then when I get to my hotel, I'm gonna go to the convention center, get my badge and stuff, and then get to my hotel. We're gonna go over the last 3 essays for real, and that's it. All essays are really ingrained in my head. Bro, now I see why people really be like, shout out Jonathan Grossman for real, because when I say I'm really able to go through these essays right now mentally, like, I didn't know this was possible, but it's because he structures essays, and he's low-key structuring you to remember in essay format, y'all. Like, when I think about it now, I'm like, wait, I'm like going over Conlon right now. I'm like, okay, Congress's powers. Okay, what's next? State powers. Okay, so what's next? Oh, standing and stuff. Okay, what's next? Speech rights. All of that is how he organizes his essay, and those are very heavy topics. So yeah, like, so when I think about how to recall the law, I'll just think about the major subject in that topic, and then I'll think about all the little rules in it. So wow, I can't believe it. It's working. Never mind, that was not where the convention is. My GPS took me a different way, but St. Pete at Rodwave, come find me. I'm out here in your city. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Here's some Tampa. I knew it, y'all, because my favorite YouTuber lives in Tampa. So this is what the parking center looks like, and if you don't have your hotel, there's not a lot of parking spots, so make sure that you're here early because ain't no parking spots for real. Oh, see, and I have to pay for this parking spot too, bro. Yeah, there's not a lot of parking spots in the Tampa Convention parking lot, so y'all are gonna need to like maybe Uber here, or if your hotel is close, walk over the bridge. My hotel, I'm just walking over the bridge, but my sign-in is at 1. I could have been there at 12:30, but I want to watch all my stuff and like put everything out strategically, so I'm coming here first. And then we're really going to go to the hotel-y and get everything right. Okay, vlog, I'm gonna show you guys my hotel right now really quickly. My cousin came to see me. She's gonna be waiting in that bar line with us, but this is just I don't know, sit down. I have a fridge, I have a microwave. Here is the like living room-ish area. Here is my bed, TV, and then we have like this outside patio over here. I just realized my camera hasn't been focusing because it's on the wrong setting. And then here is the bathroom. This is gonna be Tampa teas. All right, y'all. I'm over here just remembering PR right now. Don't sleep on PR, bro. Like, PR is 2 out of 3 of your essays. I promise you. Like, it's coming up, and it'll be like a whole 20 points on your scoreboard. So right now I'm putting PR in my head. You might know PR generally, but they want to see words like this was directly adverse, this was that. So make sure you at least know the conflict of interest, no solicitation, and no fees. Okay, everybody, good night. I am about to like actually call it quits and take a nap. I'm probably gonna wake up in like a couple hours just to review for the con log because that's the one thing I really have to go over. Luckily, that was like my last essays that I went over like last week, but it's so much nuance, so I kind of just want to refresh my mind on it. So I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, review that, and go back to bed. This part of my video is not to teach you guys how to go about the bar. I'm just telling you guys what I do. I've done this always my whole time for exams. Every time I do an exam, this is how I move. So you guys are just seeing the truth. I'm gonna go relax now. And you guys seen how chaotic the last week felt. But for some reason, I have a lot of peace about this exam. Like God's will. It's always gonna be God's will. But I will say that I feel so much comfort knowing that one, I stayed at a hotel that's right connected to the convention center. So if you feel like you need to rebrush on something before the exam and you're one of those people, you can go straight to your room during that 1 hour break, relax, get away from others. It feels good being in my own space. My whole bar experience, I'm telling you, no one's going to see me. Like I will not be around people. Like I don't text my friends like, hey, I'm here, girl, meet me here. No, I literally just move in silence until after the bar. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know that I'm not going to mentally freak myself out because you must stay calm. So see you guys. Thanks for watching this hectic bar vlog. And yeah, legally, Naya.